Well, hey everybody, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for another story. Hey, I have a story today called Because of Love's Way. Because of Love's Way. So let's get right into it, okay? I hope all you young at heart people are having a great time and a great week, and you're staying healthy. All right, here we go. A brother and sister had made their usual hurried, obligatory pre-Christmas visit to the little farm where their parents dwelt, along with a small herd of horses. The farm was where they had grown up and had been named Lone Pine Farm because of the huge lone pine which topped the hill behind their farm. Through the years, the tree had become a prominent landmark to the old couple and a landmark to the countryside as well. The young siblings had found memories of their childhood here, but the city, hustle and bustle, added more excitement for their lives and called them away to different lives. The old folks no longer showed their horses, for the years had taken their toll on them. Getting out to the barn these days in the frosty, snowy weather was quite the chore for them. But it gave them a reason to get up every morning and a reason to live. They sold a few of the foals each year, and the horses were their reason for joy. In the morning, and their contentment in the day's end. Angry as they prepared to leave, the young son and daughter confronted their folks. "Why do you not at least dispose of the old horse? She is no longer of use to you. It's been years since you've had any foals from her. You should cut corners and save some money and get rid of her. How can this old worn-out horse bring you anything but expense and work? Why do you keep her around anyway?" The old man looked down at his worn boots, holes in the toes, scuffed at the barn floor, and replied, "Yes, I could use a pair of new boots." His arms slid defensively around the old one's neck as he drew her near with gentle caressing. He rubbed her softly behind her ears. He replied softly, "We keep her because of love. Nothing else, just love." Baffled and irritated, the two youngsters wished the old man well and his wife. They wished a Merry Christmas to them and headed back toward the city as darkness began to creep across the valley. The old couple shook their heads in sorrow that it had been a happy visit, that it had not been a happy visit. A tear fell upon their cheeks. How is it that these young folks do not understand the peace and the love that filled their hearts? So it was that because of the unhappy leaving, no one noticed the insulation smoldering on the frayed wires in the old barn. None saw the first sparks fall, none but the old horse. In a matter of minutes, the whole barn was ablaze, and the hungry flames licked at the loft full of hay. With a cry of horror and despair, the old man shouted to his wife to call for help as he raced to the barn as fast as he could to save their beloved horses. But the flames were roaring too much, and the blaze was so hot that drove him back. He sank to the ground, sobbing because he was helpless. Helpless before the fire, his wife, back from calling for help, cradled him in her arms. Clinging to each other, they wept and they wept because of their loss. By the time the fire department arrived, only smoking, glowing ruins were left, and the old man and his wife, exhausted from their grief, huddled together before the barn. They were speechless as they rose from the cold snow-covered ground. They nodded thanks to the firemen, as there was nothing anyone could do, not even the firemen. The old man turned to his wife, resting her white head against his shoulders as his shaking hands clumsily dried her tears with a frayed red bandana. Brokenly he whispered, "We have lost much, but God has spared our home on this eve of Christmas. Let us gather together and climb the hill to the old pine where we have sought comfort in times of despair in the past. We will look down upon our home and give thanks to God that it has been spared, and pray for our beloved, most precious gifts that have been taken from us." And so he took her by the hand and slowly helped her up the snowy hill as he brushed aside his own tears with the back of his old calloused hand. The journey up the hill was slow and hard, for their old bodies were not as spry as they used to be, and the hill was steep and covered with snow. As they stepped over the little knoll at the top of the hill, they paused to rest. Looking up to the top of the hill, the old couple gasped and fell to their knees in amazement at the unbelievable beauty before them. Seemingly every glorious, brilliant star in the heavens was caught up in the glittering snow. The snow, the frosted branches of the beloved pine were aglow with heavenly candles, and poised on its topmost bough, a crystal crescent moon glistened like spun glass. Never had a mere mortal created a Christmas tree so beautiful as this. They were breathless as the old man held his wife tight in his arms. Suddenly, the old man gave out a cry of wonder and incredible joy. Amazed and mystified, he took his wife by the hand and pulled her forward. There, beneath the tree, in resplendent glory, a mist hovered over the glowing darkness. And in the glowing darkness was their Christmas gift. Shadows glistening in the moonlight, bedded down about the old tree, was their old beloved horse. Close to the trunk of the tree was the entire herd, all of them safe. At first hint of smoke, the old one, the beloved horse, she had pushed the door ajar with her muzzle and had led the horses through, slowly and patiently, out of the burning barn. She took them to the safest place she knew, under the protection of that lone pine tree. Stepping cautiously through the snow, the old man and his wife looked at the old beloved mare. The foals were frightened, and they dashed about. The skittish yearlings looked back at the crackling, hungry flames and tucked their tails under them as they licked their lips and hopped around like rabbits do. The mares that were in foal with a new year's crop of babies pressed uneasily against the old one as she moved calmly up the hill and to safety beneath the pine. And now she lay among them and gazed at the faces of the old man and his wife. Those she loved, she had not disappointed. Her body was brittle with years, tired from the climb, but the golden eyes were filled with the devotion as she offered her gift because of love. Only because of love. Tears flowed as the old couple shouted for joy and praised God. And again, the peace of love filled their hearts. Well, this is an inspirational message. It's a message of love and hope. It was signed originally by a fellow by the name of Willie Eagle. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. I just know that it's certainly a really pretty cool story. We need to practice doing more things just because of love. My hope is that it will make just a part of your day a little more better today. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Have a great rest of the week, everybody. We'll see you.